Um, I wasn't around John Cal when he was growing up as a little toddler. But one of the things when I was around him, I know that he was always very curious. He always wanted to know. And being the youngest of a bunch of kids, he really couldn't find all the answers that he wanted, and some of the answers that he got from the older siblings maybe wasn't exactly what he was looking for. And I understand that because I had 6 older brothers. And I thank God every day that I'm still alive. One of them is sitting here pretty close to me, so I know that I have a lot to thank God for. John Kell was always very helpful. He was always smart. He learned easy. And one of the things that I think really made him who he is today, he was always curious about everything that was going on around here.
So when LaQuanta was trying to find pictures of Cal, he asked me, and I couldn't find a picture of him in the yearbook. And LaQuanta said, "Who doesn't take a yearbook picture?" And I said, well, he probably couldn't sit still long enough to take a picture because he was always going. Always going. So when I was 10 years old, I made the comment that I would like to go to the fair. I had never been to the fair before. And at that time, I was not living at home. I was living in Shreveport with my aunt. And Cal was still living at home. And so he called me and he said, "I'm going to take you to the fair." And he did. He found his way from Benton to Shreveport. He showed up at the door and said, "We're going to the fair." Now, mind you, I was 10, he was only 14. But he found his way from Benton to Shreveport to take me to the fair. And that was one of the best days of my life. Wow. We had such a great time. And so I just want Debbie, LaQuanta, Ashley, Brian to know that he's always been that way. He has always been that way, helping people. That I think he was born that way. But so that is the thing that I want to say is, I know you may not think it, but the things you do for other people will last.
Wow. A few weeks ago, John Cal actually hurt himself out on the job. He got a pretty good burned his hand, a pretty good injury. We were in the hospital. They had taken him to the hospital and they had taken him back. We were kind of, actually Stephanie and I were explaining to a young lady in the waiting room what had happened. And just so happened at the time I had a Superman shirt on. So we explained the story, what happened, and she was like, "Wow, he had an electrical shock and he got up and drove himself home." I said, yeah, that's John Cal. And y'all had to make him come to the hospital? I said, yeah, that's John Cal. She said, "Wow." She said, "He got the Superman shirt on, maybe you ought to give it to him." I said, and at the time, I didn't really think about it, just kind of made an offhand comment. I said, "You know what?" I said, "He don't need the shirt, he's always been a superhero." Because I remember, and I don't even know if you remember, but I remember when I was about 6, 7 years old, we were living over there by Redbird Mall on the second floor of the apartments. And somebody stole me in apartment lights in the middle of the night off the second floor of the apartment. And I don't know how he knew, how he heard, but John Cal jumped up, and in my mind, he jumped off the second floor, chased the people down, and the next thing I know, we had a lights back. And then kind of a similar situation, we moved to the house in DeSoto, somebody stole my mom's Camry. Middle of the night again. He chased them down. Brought the car back. know, I love you. You've always been my hero. And I tell you what's really special is right before Christmas, I was asking my son, Brian II, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm expecting, you know, to get the standard kid answer, some toy you seen on TV or something like that. I kept asking him, and he said, I want a suit. I was thinking a suit, like a fireman suit or astronaut suit. He said, no, I want a church suit. I said, a church suit? He said, yeah, because I want to be a deacon like Papa.
You know, when I think about my dad, I think about him as a person of character. You know, I read somewhere that men who are considered geniuses are admired. Men are envied for wealth. Men with power are traditionally feared. And men who have character are trusted. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that lesson, the lesson of just being someone's character.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look around the room, everybody in this room loves you and trusts you. And it's something to live up to and something to always learn. And you never had to sit down and say you do this or don't do that. You always live by example, and I appreciate that. And I love you for that, and I thank you.
As Brian said, John Cal, we've almost lost him twice within the last 2 weeks. First of all, to a severe third-degree burn, which he had to be treated for in the hospital. He drove his truck home and told me because I ain't gonna leave my truck out there, let them fools steal my stuff on the So he drove his truck home with one hand, being hanging over his arm. So we forced him to go to the hospital and they took care of him. And later on that week, a couple days later, he had a severe reaction to the medication they'd given him. So we had to call the paramedics to the house, and by the time they got there, I slapped him a few times. And he was awake when they got there. They determined that it was just that he had too much of the medication. But we're grateful that God has spared him to live another day. And I want to take the time to tell you all, to tell the people in your lives who you care about, how much you love them, because life is not promised, and life is very short. So let's tell each other regularly how much we love and appreciate each other. As you all know, John Cal is a quiet man. He doesn't say very much, but in quietness and confidence does he get his strength. He does pray for his children, he prays for his family. He's just always there for us. He's supportive of us, whatever we want to do, whether we're going on a girls' trip or somewhere around the world. He's right there for us. He takes care of his sons, he mentors them, and you don't find that a whole lot today, men being real men. Not only is he a real man, he's a gentleman. And I mean that in every aspect of the word. He's a gentle man, a man that's good. And I just want to thank everybody again for coming out. Let John Cal know how much we love him and appreciate him. And everything that he does for us, he just can't help it. And Jesus said, whatever he does, whether it's fixing your car on the side of the road or fixing plumbing, I think he was at my dad's house today with plumbing. Whatever you need, he's always been there for us. And we appreciate it so much and we love him. Thank you, John Cal, for being in our lives. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this beautiful family for 32 years. We love you.
Yeah. Nobody told me nothing. I'm getting upset with them. I want to remember that when y'all want something. Thank everybody for taking time out to come out and
Party with you. Party with you. Hang out.
party with me.
Yeah.
Party with me.